Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, October 24th, and we are having yoga here at Good Shepherd in the narthex. The participants just left, so I'm here alone recording this for you so that I could take off my mask and you could hear me. So I hope this reaches some of you that are not able to join us and blesses you and brings you peace in these turbulent, chaotic times, both in our country and in the world. So I thought I would come to a very basic psalm that I love and can be a verse that we can say to each other over and over again, no matter what we're going through. And that is the culminating verse in this passage is, "Be still and know that I am God." So it's hard to still our minds from worry, from fear, from details of life, from emotion. But here's what the psalmist says in Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. He says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." So as we flow today, I would challenge us all to remember probably the first verse and the last. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. And what we can do is trust in that, but also to take pauses and moments to be still and know that He is God. So as we flow today, we will take pauses as kind of a practice of pausing in our life as well as in our yoga flow. So let's start off in a comfortable seated position. Close your eyes and just feel your breath. Allow your sit bones to feel the earth, ground, nice and solid. Just like God's strength, it's always there. The earth is always there for us to ground into. And feel the breath moving into your body, through your nose and down into your belly and back out again. The gift of the breath of life. So if your world has been especially crazy, you might want to just pause this video and just sit for 5 minutes and focus on nothing else but your breath and God's sacred presence through that breath. When you're ready to flow, send your arms out to the side, up and over your head, breathing in nice and big and exhaling as you come back to your heart. Feeling the breath flow as you move out and up. Big inhale And exhale to the heart. And one more time, out and up and exhale. And take your left hand, place it on your right knee, your right arm behind you, and as you raise your back nice and tall, and breathe in, twist to the right, looking over that right shoulder. Take a couple breaths here. Be aware of the breathing as well as the twisting. Come back to center. Arms up, breathing in, and back to your heart. And then twisting over towards the left. Again, nice and tall. Feeling the breath flowing. And back to center. So let's take our left leg and set it out a little bit at an angle. Our right foot into our thigh. Breathe in. Again, as the arms come up, and this time as we exhale out, turn towards that left foot and lower down over the left leg, placing your hands along your leg wherever your hands land. Relaxing into it. Breathing in as you sit back up, arms out to the side, inhaling, turning to the left, and exhaling, maybe this time a little deeper as you come over top that left leg. And then coming back up, switch legs, send the right leg out, the left foot into the thigh. Breathing in and folding forward. Inhaling as the arms come up and folding maybe a little deeper this time. And as you come back up, place your left hand to the side of your body and lean into that left knee, and your right foot stays on the floor, and come into a sided, supported plank, where you just lift up and create that line from your right fingertips all the way down to your right toes. Stretching and reaching, and sitting down again. And then switch sides one more time with that left leg out. Arms come up, exhaling to the heart. Place your right hand to the side. Press that right knee into the ground as your left arm comes up. So it's like you're doing a side plank, but your knee is supporting you. And coming back down, let's tuck our legs underneath us and go into a child's pose. So your knees can be wide or straight. Arms reach out in front of you. Your hips go back. And let's this be our first pause in our practice to be still. You can rest your forehead on the mat. Just take your awareness to your breath. And just be still and know that I am God. So rock back up onto all fours. Come into tabletop position. And then let's just do some circles, wake up those hips. And make sure and take your awareness into your body instead of what's around you or what's going on. Take it from the external to the internal. Whether it be the breath, or some muscles or joints that are feeling tight. Or maybe it's some tension in your shoulders or your neck or your jaw. Just move it, notice it. And then send your right leg straight out behind you. Bend that knee so that your foot comes towards your sit bones. Feeling the stretch in the front of your quad. Send that right leg straight back out again. And then cross the right leg over to the left side, looking at your toes over your left shoulder. Breathe into this and relax. Bring your knee back to tabletop. And let's do a few cat and cows. Dropping your belly as you breathe in and exhaling as you round your belly. Just back and forth, your own pace. But most importantly, allowing the breath to flow with the movement of your body. And then after a couple, send your left leg straight out behind you. Bend at the knee, bring that foot towards your sit bones or your back. Try to keep that knee so that your leg is parallel to the rest of your body. And then straighten the leg back out, cross it over to the right side, and look over your right shoulder. Breathing in, and on the exhale, releasing, coming back to tabletop. Loosen up with those cats and cows. And bring your left hand a little closer in towards the center to balance your table. So we're going to lift the right arm up and then thread it underneath your body, setting your right shoulder, maybe your right cheek. If that's not available to put your cheek on the mat, you can always put a pillow or a block at home underneath. Your left arm can stretch out in front of you, or it can just be in a relaxed position next to your face. We're looking for an opening in the back, an opening in the shoulders. Press your left hand into the floor. Do a couple cat and cows. And then send your left arm up into the air. Thread it underneath your body, placing your left shoulder and cheek on the floor. And then pushing into the earth, come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes and come up into our first downward facing dog. So in downward dog, we want our body to look like the top of a triangle. So from your fingertips to your sit bones, a nice long line. And from your sit bones down to your heels and your feet. The goal is to try to get the heels a little closer to the floor each time, but this first one probably be a little more stiff. You can pedal your feet back and forth. Take some deep breaths. Allow your neck to relax. And when you're ready, walk yourself up to a forward fold. So stay in this forward fold for a moment. And if this is tight on the back of your legs, you can bend your knees a little bit. The most important thing is to try to get your chest coming towards your heels so that you get a good bend in the hips. You can grab the opposite elbow if you want to. Swing from side to side if that feels good. Put your own style into the yoga. Whatever works for you, whatever feels good. Come up halfway with a flat back. Exhale down, forward fold. This time we'll roll ourselves all the way up to mountain pose. So this first time, this is just regular mountain until we put our arms overhead as extended. So let's take a pause here, a pause in our practice, like a pause for life. And each time we pause, we'll simply say to ourselves, be still and know that I am God. And as you breathe in, bring your arms up overhead and fold all the way forward. Halfway lift up, forward fold, down. All the way up one more time, reaching, stretching, breathing in, and then folding forward. So this time from our forward fold, going to send our left foot back and come up into warrior one. So the left foot, the foot is at an angle, the knee is at a right angle. Arms come up. And just settle into this. Feel the roots grounding through your feet as you raise your arms up and feet ground in. And then bring your hands behind your back, clasping your fingers together, sending your shoulders back and your heart up. And then tilt forward from your hips with your right shoulder going inside your right knee. Your hands can rest on your lower back, or you can bring them up off the back for a little more shoulder stretching. Then release your hands, and we'll come into our first flow. So palms come to the floor, our feet come back behind. For plank, you can also do a plank from your knees. You're doing it from here. Either way, as you lower down, keep those elbows tucked in nice and close. Lower down to the floor. Send your heart up for cobra pose. Just maybe a little ways the first time. We'll do 2 more cobras, pushing your hands into the floor as you lift with your upper back muscles. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as your shoulders come up. And then exhale down, come up onto your knees, tuck your toes, up to downward facing dog. Couple breaths here in your down dog. Walk your feet up to your hands. Hang down into forward fold. Exhale nice and big here. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And this time, let's send your right leg back for warrior one. So your foot is at an angle, your knee is at a right angle, or a 45-degree angle. Your arms are up. I'm sorry, that's a 90. Arms are up. And root down as you rise up. hands come behind you, shoulders back, heart forward. And then tilt all the way down into your humble warrior with your shoulder on the inside. Very big exhale here. Surrender your breath and your muscles and your heart into this. Release your hands, and we'll take our flow. At any time when we're doing the flow, which is our plank and our chaturanga down and our cobra, you can just always meet us in downward facing dog. So your plank, either from here or from here. Most important thing is the back is straight. Take a couple breaths, building strength in your arms here. Tuck those elbows in nice and close. Lower down. Lift your heart. Exhale. Lift your heart again. This time be aware that your shoulders are down, not up by your ears. Exhale it out. Inhale one more time. And exhale. This time coming back up through your tabletop, tucking your toes, coming back into downward facing dog, walking your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift. Breathe in, exhale as you forward fold. Inhale as you roll yourself all the way up to your extended mountain pose. Bring your hands to your palms together and then your hands to your heart. And let's take a pause. Let's breathe in here. Take a long exhale out. And maybe repeat our verse. Be still and know that I am God. And then allowing your hands to travel, continuing down. Come into forward fold. Send your left leg back behind you. Right knee is forward. Come all the way up into warrior one again. And then open your arms to warrior two. So your right knee is over top of your right foot. Right palm comes up, tilts back. Come forward. And then straighten that knee with your arms overhead. And exhale. Straighten the knee as arms come overhead, stretching, reaching up, and exhale back into warrior two. And one more time, inhaling and exhaling back. This time straighten that front knee so both legs are straight. Tilt back into a reverse triangle. So you're looking for a line here from your fingertips all the way down to your toes. Come back up, and then we'll reach forward, bump this hip back, and come down into our triangle pose with your hand on your shin. Not so important how far you go, but more important that your body stays in a nice plane. Your left arm comes up. And breathe. Bring your body up, legs stay the same as you reverse into reverse triangle. And then come back to a straight back. Bring that left foot up a little closer. Turn your hips towards the front of the mat. We're going to come into pyramid pose, so hands on your hips, shoulders back. Shine the heart open. Take a breath in and fold over that right leg. You can allow your fingertips to touch the floor. And if it's too much strain on the back of your leg, you can also bend your knee just a little bit. And bring that left foot up to meet the right. Hang down into forward fold. I'll turn around here. Come up halfway lift. Forward fold, release. And then same thing on the other side. Send your right leg back, your left knee bent. Come up to warrior one. Open to warrior two. Left palm up, peaceful warrior. Back to warrior two. And then the alternating of the straightening the leg and back to warrior two. Inhale as you straighten and reach. Exhale as you come back to warrior two. Inhale as you straighten and reach. Exhale as you come back to warrior two. Then coming into reverse triangle, straighten that front knee and reach back for that nice long line. And then coming back up, moving into triangle pose where you're reaching forward with that left hand, bumping your right hip back and pulling it back, placing your hand on your shin and right arm up into the air. And breathing into this intense stretching. Your arm can be straight up or you can bring it forward over your ear. Your choice always. And coming back to reverse triangle one more time. And coming back up straight, hands on hips, bring that back foot up a little bit, facing the front for pyramid pose, shoulders back. And folding over that left leg. And just relax into this fold. Feeling some nice hamstring stretches. Then placing your hand on the mat, let's take a flow here. Sending our feet back to a plank. Holding for a couple breaths. Whenever you're ready, lowering down. Tops of feet to the mat, curling up. Breathe in, exhale as you lower. Tuck your toes under and come back up to downward facing dog. Feel any difference? If you're tired of downward dog at this point, you can always come down into a child's pose. Walk your feet up to your hands. Hang down into your forward fold. Come up halfway lift. And forward fold. And roll all the way up into mountain pose. All the way, extended mountain. Hands up. And this time we're coming into chair. So bend those knees. From the side, it looks a bit like this. Feet can be a little ways apart, or if it feels comfortable with them right next to each other, that's fine too. Arms should be out in front of you, or you can always do cactus arms. Send those sit bones back. Bend the knees if you want to go in a little deeper. So from chair, we're going to move into a balance pose. So lifting your left leg up off the floor. As your arms come down, your leg goes back. We'll move into airplane. So just take it nice and slow. If you have to put your foot down, that's okay. And then finally place your back foot on the floor, right knee bent, and up to warrior one. And open to warrior two, and back to peaceful warrior. And arms all the way to the floor. Come into your plank, take your flow, or meet us in downward dog, lowering down, flowing up to cobra. Exhaling down, tucking your toes, come up to downward facing dog. Walking your feet, your hands. Exhaling, nice and big, pausing in this fold. And pulling your belly in, pull yourself all the way up to extended mountain. And once again, sitting back into chair pose. So breathe into this chair, maybe going a little deeper. And this time we're doing the other leg, grounding your left leg into the floor, raising that right knee. And as your arms come back, your right leg comes back out behind you for airplane. And breathe in here. And on the exhale, set your back foot down on the floor for warrior one. Warrior two. And peaceful. And then cartwheel our hands all the way down to the floor. Feet go back into a plank. Lower down, take your flow, or meet us in downward dog, curling up, lowering down, pushing yourself back up to downward facing dog, walking up to forward fold. And let's roll all the way up here to our standing and to our heart. And take a pause. Be still and know that I am God. Continue to fold down, placing your fingertips on the mat. We're going to send our left leg back again, but this time the leg stays on the ball of your foot, your left foot. So I'll move up a little bit so you can see my foot on the ball of it. So this creates a little more balancing. If you feel a little tipsy, you can move this right leg over to the right a little further to create a little more space for your balance. And then when your feet are grounded, come on up into a high lunge. Breathe in And on your exhale, send the right arm back, the left arm forward for a little upper body twist. Inhaling, both hands back up. And this time, place your left hand next to your right foot on the floor. Maybe you want to scooch that back foot a little further back and take another twist with the right arm up, this time feeling it more in your right hip. And your hand goes down, lower that left knee further all the way to the floor and move into your lunge. So your right knee comes forward, your right hips are forward. And just feel into that lunge. Sending breath there. And then rocking back for half splits. So we want to rock back so that our hips are over our knees, and then maybe extend that right foot if you have to pick it up or scooch it up a little further. The heel comes on the floor and the toes are up as you fold over that right leg for half splits. And then bringing that right foot back in a little closer, heel toe it over to the edge of the mat. Bring both hands inside of it for lizard pose. So you can stay here for your lizard. You can send that right knee out to the side a little more. Or if you have a block or something, you can go down part way. Or if it's in your practice, you can place your elbows on the floor. Again, go internal to your body. Notice what's happening inside with your hip and your leg muscles. And just be very present with what's going on. Walk your hands back up. Take that right leg, come back. Your knees come back to meet each other. Spread your knees wide. And sit back into child's pose. Again, taking a pause. Remembering the words, God is our refuge and strength. Just like this earth that's holding us up, He is there. And then rock forward. Tuck your toes under. Downward dog. Walk up to your forward fold. This time on this side, we'll send our right foot back. Our right foot is on the ball of our foot. Our left knee is bent. Come up to high lunge. Breathing in. Sending our left arm back, this time with the right arm forward for that upper body twist. Back to high lunge. Right hand comes down next to the left foot, maybe sliding the right foot back a little farther. Lowering your torso, sending the left arm up for a twist. Your knee is still off the floor, but it's a little lower than it was before. Breathe into this hip twist. Feel it. Just love it. Both hands down. Place your right knee on the floor and push forward into your low lunge. And then back into your half splits with those hips coming over your knee, moving your left heel forward and folding down over that left leg. Come on up, heel toe that right or left foot over to the edge of the mat for lizard pose. Hands come in front of you a ways, and then you find your place where you like to go for this pose. Up here is fine. You're feeling it. You're doing great. Part way down on a prop is good, or onto the mat. One side might be different than the other, tighter, looser. Taking some breaths. And come on up and bring that left knee around to meet the right, and send your hips back into child's pose. And take a pause with whatever stories you need to get out of your head right now. Just pause into God's presence. And then come up onto all fours. Tuck your toes under. Come up to downward facing dog. Send your right leg straight out behind you. Bend at the knee and send that knee out to the side, opening the hips. And then when you're ready, come into pigeon pose, so that right knee will come underneath your body. Set that right knee down behind your right wrist. Slide that back leg out straight behind you. Take a big breath in here. Your right foot comes underneath your body at whatever angle is available to you. And then when you're ready, lower yourself down again onto your place. Can be elbows, can be on a prop, can be forehead to the floor. And just surrender, relax, let go into this intense hip stretching pose of pigeon. After a couple of breaths, bring yourself back up, tuck that left toe underneath you, and bring your right leg to meet the left. Come into downward dog. Maybe pedal, you're feeling that right hip kind of stretched out. You might just want to roll it around a little bit, get it unstuck, untightened. A breath in downward dog. Walk your feet up. Roll all the way up to mountain pose. Extended mountain. Reach, stretch, and exhale the hands back to your heart. We're going to come into a tree pose on that same side. So your left foot stays grounded. Your right knee comes up like a stair step, and then out to the side. And then bring that foot into your ankle, your calf, not your knee, maybe your thigh. And then grow your branches, cactus arms, tree branches. Breathe, find a focus. Focus your eyes on a spot. And then we're going to release the foot, release the hands, and come back into that airplane pose, nice and slow. As your right foot goes back, your arms go back. As your chest comes down, your back leg comes up. Take a breath here in your airplane and allow your fingertips to go to the floor with that right leg straight out behind you. For standing splits, bring your right leg back to meet the left. Place your hands on the floor, walk your feet back a little for downward dog. We move to the left side with your left leg up in the air. Bend that knee, and then open the knee to the side, opening the hips. Back to neutral, and then bring that left knee behind your left wrist and set it down for your pigeon pose. Sending your right leg back out behind you. The left knee is behind the left wrist, and your right foot is at an angle underneath your body. And again, a breath pause. And then lower down to where your place in pigeon is. If you have any knee issues, you can do this on your back and pull your knee up towards your body. And come out of your pigeon, tuck the right toe under, back to downward dog, loosening up that left hip this time, or the left knee, whatever feels tight. Walk yourself up to meet your hands. Stay down in forward fold for a breath. Then come all the way up into mountain pose. Hands at your heart. Take a breath, pause. And we'll move into tree on the other side. So anchor your right foot into the floor. Bring that left knee up like a stair step out to the side. Plant it on your leg, pushing the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot. Grow your branches. And breathe. Releasing your hands, releasing the foot. Send both of them towards the back of the room. Tilting forward as you raise that left leg into airplane pose. Take a breath. And then lower all the way down into your standing splits with your chest coming towards your thigh. And then bringing both feet together. Hang here in forward fold for a pause. And then bend your knees and come on down onto the mat to a seated position. So this is called staff pose. Our toes are pointed up, legs are straight, and we want that back to be as nice and straight as we can. So we're going to fold forward, send our arms out, get that nice breath in, and then fold forward, trying to keep your back straight. Instead of going like this, Keep the back as straight as you can. Thinking about your stomach coming towards your thighs. And then once you get as far as you can go, then relax into it. Allow your head to drop. And come on up. Take your right leg, cross it over the left. Left arm grabs that right knee and twist yourself, looking over your right shoulder. Need to release those hips. We spent a lot of time on those today. And release. And the other one, the left leg over the right. Grab that left knee, twist over to the left. And release. Then place both feet on the floor. We're coming into boat pose using our stomach muscles. So for boat, you can start in your body in a V position. Lift your feet off the floor. You can support your legs here underneath them. You have lots of options here. You can stay supported and raise the legs. Or you can not support your legs and allow your arms to go out to the side or up above. And then you can also straighten the legs, maybe more than I can. And just breathe into this. Even though you're shaking like I am, that means you're working. And then lower it back down and roll all the way onto your back. So once on your back, pull your knees into your chest. You can lift your head up off the floor if you want to turn into a little ball, rocking back and forth. And then place your left leg on the floor, stretched out. Send your right leg straight up into the air. And you can grab someplace on your leg, or if your toes available, take that leg out to the side. Just nice and slow. If you've got a strap or a belt or something, you can put that around the foot too as you reach it out to the side. And come back in. Bend that knee and change legs. Send your right leg out straight. Bring that left leg in. Straighten it out. Hanging onto your left leg wherever you can, whatever feels secure to you, or using a strap. And then take that left leg out to the side. And back up. And then bring both knees into the chest. Keeping your knees bent, bring both feet up parallel to the floor. Grab the bottoms of those feet and pull the knees. Pull on the bottom of the feet so that the knees come towards the earth. You can rock back and forth if you feel like you need a good massage. And then place the bottoms of those feet together. Place them on the floor and allow your knees to go out in opposite directions. There's always the invitation with this pose to place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. It feels like a pose that allows the hips and the lower back to relax. And bringing your knees together and your arms out to the side. Bring those knees in and then take them over towards the right as your gaze goes towards the left. And there's variations to this. You can just stay with the knees, or you can extend that left leg out. You can grab the leg. Any version is fine. It's just twisting your back from a reclined position. And back to the center, and send the knees over to the left and your gaze to the right. And come back to the center. Stretch your legs nice and long. Your arms come next to your body if you'd like, with your hands up, palms up. If you'd like a blanket or something to make yourself feel warm and cozy. This is our final resting pose. So you can just stay in that pose while I'm going to give us our final reading and prayer and turn off the video so you can just stay there for as long as you want. So as you're laying on your mat, again, take that internal scan. Feel the parts of your body that are connecting to the floor. You can allow your breath to become a little easier and maybe a little more relaxed and shallow for a moment. So as you rest, I will remind us from Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. He says to us, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth." Many blessings on your day. I hope you carry this stillness and this idea of pausing into your life and into the week ahead. Sending love and light to all through Jesus our Lord. Amen. Namaste to you all. So continue your final resting pose as long as you need it.